What's up, you guys? Welcome back and welcome if you're new. In today's video, we're going to be showing you guys exactly how to install a decked drawer system onto your Tacoma. Before we get into the installation, I'm going to show you guys a couple things. Cool thing about today's video though, if you guys are interested on how to install it, me and Jerry, which is aka Beast Fab, we did go into super crazy detail for you guys, so that way you guys can kind of follow along with the process. Just in case it does seem a little bit too hard for you guys, make sure to just hit him up, let him know I sent you over, and he'll get it done for you guys. One thing with me, why I ended up getting a decked USA system just like this, one, it's actually made in the USA. Another cool thing about this is, one, for the visual aspect of it, it looks pretty cool. The reason I did get it mainly is just because of space. I talk about this a lot in a lot of videos. The space on these Tacomas is just super tiny. So having something like this, I can actually lock up my stuff and throw it in the back over here. It sucks having to put everything inside, especially if I have more people with me in the cab. We're really crunched up and sometimes I got to drive like this. Passengers all awkward and I don't like that. I feel bad for them and myself. So that's a big reason as to why I got this. Cool thing about it, it's just well made. I mean, you got one drawer here. If you guys do get the accessories kit like I did, it comes with stuff like this. It also comes with dividers, so you can divide the drawers up depending on what you want to put in it, and it has two drawers. This one is the bigger one, and I did also get a bigger accessory box like this, so I can put little things in there. Another cool thing about this is this thing holds about 2,000 pounds, so if you guys do want to go ahead and put stuff in back of the bed right here, and like say you're loading anything heavy, you don't have to worry about this thing breaking through because it does hold 2,000 pounds. You have an ammo can on this side and an ammo can on this side. It's extra space, so if you guys do have an ARB kit and you want to air up and air down from the back over here, you can probably set it up there. And then another thing, if you do close your tailgate like this, no one can open the door, especially if you guys have a lock on your tailgate. And then for me, I have the dual swing outs, so it's just a lot more work for someone trying to get in to open it up. And then another cool little thing about this deck system, on here it does come with a ruler. I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not sure how long this ruler is going to last, only because when you're loading and unloading, it's probably going to get scratched up, but it's cool that they offer it. It has like a bunch of measurements and stuff like that. Another cool thing is right here, it has a bottle opener. So now that I talked your ears off, let's go ahead and now get into the installation and show you guys. We wanted to show you guys what comes inside the box. So as you guys can tell, we have everything laid out. Whenever you guys are doing something like this, that's a really long install with a lot of pieces, it's best to just go ahead and lay everything down. Another thing I wanted to let you guys know, as you guys can tell, we did get some accessories for the deck system, which we'll show you guys later in the video once everything's installed. Another cool thing about Decked USA is they provide a really good instruction manual. They provide it with like a book type of instructions, and then it's all colored as well. Everything's just super good, nicely laid out. So if you guys do like puzzles or anything like that, you guys are gonna like this installation. Another thing, it is gonna be a box that comes inside. Everything in there is gonna be all the hardware that's needed to install this. So for this step here, what you're gonna wanna go ahead and do is prep the bed. So if you wanna go ahead and clean it out or anything like that, start with that. I'm gonna go ahead and leave my dirty because it's gonna get dirty anyway, it doesn't really matter. But for you guys, if you wanna clean it out, go ahead. So first things here is you wanna go ahead and get a 5/16 drill bit like this. You're gonna have to drill some holes into the bed. First thing here that we're gonna do is we're gonna be measuring out to go ahead and make those holes. So looking right here, when we walk right in, you're gonna notice on my 2020 Tacoma, I don't have the little bed cubby that goes here. Usually, you guys do have the bed cubby right here in this section. Cool thing about that is you'll only have to drill out one hole. Like I said, for me, I don't have a bed cubby, so we're gonna be drilling 2 holes. Keep that in mind. So the way you're gonna measure this out is you're gonna wanna go ahead and get a measuring stick or something like that. The way we're gonna be drilling this out right here, which is gonna be with a 5/16 drill bit, is you're gonna wanna go ahead and measure from here, which is the end of the bed, inwards where we have the marking there. That's gonna be 5.75 inches. So once again, measure from here inwards, 5.75 inches. Once you measure that out, now you want to come in close right here. As you guys can tell, we've marked it there. So now what you want to do is from the bottom, you want to go upwards and measure out 7.5 inches. And then that's where you'll make your first hole. So as you can tell, we pre-drilled it. We haven't drilled it all the way. So it's right there. And then from there, what you want to go ahead and do is measure down 2.75 inches downwards, which is right here. And then that's where your second hole will be. If you guys do have the bed cubby, You guys won't have to drill out that top one. Just go ahead and measure from there down 2.75 inches, and that's where you drill. But like I said, for me, no bed cubby, I have to do those 2 holes. So we've pre-drilled. We're gonna go ahead and finish drilling in, and then we'll move on to the next step. Up next, what you're gonna do is you're gonna be focusing on the bed bolts. You're gonna wanna go ahead and focus in the bag that has the bed shims, which are these bad boys here. You're gonna see there's 4 of them. These 2 here that have the holes in the center, as you guys can tell. 1 and 2. Those are gonna be going on those bed bolts. These ones, I'll show you what to do with them in a second. Go ahead and grab these 2 that I had told you guys, the ones with the holes, the shims. What you're gonna need to do here on that bed bolt here, as you guys can tell, the cab is right here. What you're gonna need to do is clean off the surface. The reason why is because underneath this, there's gonna be some sticky, so as you can tell. Remove the backing. Once you do that, and then you wanna put it right over. You wanna make sure to center this as best as possible. And then you're gonna wanna do the same thing to this side. Cab's there. Clean off the surface. Grab the other shim, open this bad boy up, and same thing, center it with the hole of the bolt. Firm pressure. Next step here, what we're going to be doing is measuring out the center of the bed. Reason why is because that's where these next shims are going to be going. So right now I'll explain to you what Jerry's doing as far as measurements.
What I'm doing here is pretty much just measuring the center of the bed. As you can tell right here, I have this yellow line as a reference. Another point of reference in case you're having any doubt, see this little band right here from the tailgate? The center of the bed is right in the middle of that thing. Then here, the instruction says you have to go 6.5 inches from the end of the bed. And then you're gonna have this little shims right here. If you look at from the front of the truck or from the rear of the truck, what has to be on the left side where Jesse's recording is gonna be to the right side. So just make sure that you guys keep that in mind. Now we're on the back of the truck, so towards the cab. So as you guys can notice right here, we have, you know, a line of reference too. Another point of reference I would say is gonna be this drain hole for the bed. On that one, it's telling you that is the center of the bed. I just run a line along this middle channel right here. You have to do 3 inches from the back to the front. So and that's where you're gonna place the other shim from that point back.
And same thing, as you could tell, that's the center. You want to make sure you place it on the left side. Now that we've laid down the shims, as you could tell, there's one there by the bed bolt. There's one on that side by the bed bolt where the rag is. And then we've already centered the center shims, one there, one there. Gary was saying, make sure you place it, once you find the center, make sure you place the shims on the left side of that creasing, as you could tell, there and there. So once again, we're gonna go back to the holes that we had first drilled out, which were right here. We're gonna go ahead and now get ready to put the tie downs. Where you could find the tie downs, it comes in a little baggie of 2. Reason why is one's gonna be for one side, one's gonna be for the other side. So let's grab one for now, which is right here. In this step, if you guys are starting to work on the left side, what you wanna do is grab the baggie that comes with the back plate and some 2 nuts and 2 bolts. On the bag, it's gonna say Tacoma TDRF and then a date. That's the bag you're gonna wanna grab, and this for this side. So let's start on this and we'll show you guys kind of how to put it on. Now we're gonna be working on putting, of course, those, like I had said, inside the baggie comes this back plate here. It's gonna come with 2 nuts and 2 bolts. It's gonna be a standard size 11, so keep that in mind. In this step here, it's best to get a buddy to help you out. Reason why is because the 2 bolts are gonna go through there, and you're gonna want someone on the back side to hold the nuts. So keep that in mind. If you don't, good luck, have fun, but 2 people is always best on this step. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to grab the plate. I'm going to grab these 2. I'm going to go through the back. We're going to be putting these back here. As you guys can tell back there, we've drilled it out, came out through there, and it came out through there. Just in case you can't really access it through this section here, another way you can access, if you go underneath the truck, you'll be able to see it through there. The bolts should come out, which we'll show you guys right now. Right now I'm gonna have Jerry put the bolts right through so you guys can see. So go ahead. So there's the 2 right there, as you guys can tell. Now I need to put the plate there and the nuts. Let me go underneath. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the plate. As you guys can tell, I'm gonna put it onto the bolts there. You're gonna notice one side has a long end to it, and then the other side has just enough space for the bolt to pass through. That's just if you need to adjust it, which, let's see. Up next is just putting the nuts. So now that I got both nuts on, Jerry's on the other side. He's gonna go ahead and tighten it down from that side while I hold it from here with the tool. You can tell now the nuts are fully placed, bolted everything down. So let me show you from the other side. You can tell now it's placed. So keep in mind the orientation of the actual tie down. It's facing like kind of back towards the truck, as you can tell. So let's move on to the opposite side. Now we're gonna do the right passenger side. This one's gonna be a little bit easier only because you don't have to measure as much. So you're gonna notice right here at the top there's 1, 2, and 3 bolts up there. That's going to be a size T30 Torx bit. So what you want to do is remove the Torx bit, grab the other bracket, as you can see it, we've already placed it, and then put the bolt back through. Once you have that done, you want to go ahead and kind of line it up nice and straight. The reason we've done that is, and now we're going to have to drill out one more hole. By doing it this way, by putting down the tie down and putting the bolt back in through, that's just going to help us align the hole. That way we don't have to measure out so much stuff. Using the same 5/16 drill bit. For this next step here, as you can tell, we've drilled it out. Locate the bags that say prep MT5 to MT7, and then it's also going to say prep MT5 to MT7. So the only thing you're grabbing from this bigger bag here is going to be this flange washer here, as you guys can tell. It's a flat washer. And then back into the smaller baggie here, you're going to want to go ahead and grab this 1-inch bolt, and then this nut in here as well, as you can tell. So that's what we're going to be doing as far as hardware. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to put the bolt right through there, just like that. Jerry's going to go from the back side. Keep in mind the one on the passenger side is a little bit more tough to get to versus this side, so keep that in mind, you guys. Grab the size 10mm socket for this side. Now that we've prepped the bed, we're good to go. Next, what we're going to be doing here is just staring at Jerry. As you can tell, he's right there. So in this step here, grab the baggie that says S1 on it. Deck calls this piece here it's going to be a bird. If you look on the back side of it, it's going to have some integrated riv nuts, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Grab this piece here, and you're going to notice if I drag it, there's another lip here, which is kind of like downwards, and there's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4 holes. So right here, what we're going to do is we're going to insert it just like that. Backside right there, we're going to go ahead and grab our bolts from S1. There's going to be 2 on this side and 2 on the opposite side. Right now, all you want to do is kind of bolt them in by hand. Don't over tighten or anything like that. What we've done here, if you remember, it was on this side. All we did was flip it. That's going to be the back, which goes to the back of the cab right there. So for the next step, you want to go ahead and grab your S1 baggie, which had all that hardware that we just used right now. In this next one, you're also going to need to grab these studs. These ones, they actually have an orientation. It's going to say L is left for driver's side. If you look on the back end of it, there's 1, 2, and 3 riveted nuts in there, and that's going to go attached to this there. On the passenger side, it's going to have an R. Right passenger side is going to go attached there. But once you have that there, go back to your S1 baggie, grab 6 total of these bolts. So this, it's going to go 3 on one side and 3 on the other side. The head through there, and it goes bolted into the stud. Have the ammo cans. As you can tell, there's 2 of them, and these do go in a specific direction, so keep that in mind. Now we're going to be grabbing the top plates, which it's that one and that one. We're going to be starting on this bigger side here, which Jerry has in his hand, and you're going to want to go ahead and place it over. This is kind of going to be like Legos. You want to place it where it should. So as you can tell, and it sits there. Like I said, it's like a Lego, so if it's not placing correctly, it's not going to let you sit it on, because it does kind of snap into place. And then here, opening the lid will kind of help you orient it. And same thing, it's going to be like a Lego. It has to sit in its place. Do this other side, it's going to be the same thing. We have it in its location. We're going to go ahead and now kind of square everything off. Let me show you guys what I mean by that. So if you come to the back side over here, if you guys do remember, I told you guys to go ahead and hand tighten these for now, which were those 3 and those 3 there. You're going to notice 1, 2, 3, and 4, but these 2 are kind of slightly crooked. So to square this off, we're going to go ahead and grab one of those bolts that were in the S1 baggie. You want to go ahead and put it in. Hand tighten it for now. You don't have to tighten it down all the way, and you want to go ahead and do the same. As you can tell, they're kind of crooked, so we'll go ahead and straighten it out just a little bit. and then put the same S1 baggy bolt. Now you can go ahead and hit it and tighten everything down. At this point, now that we have everything squared off, now we could take those top bolts that we just put on. That's why I said put them by hand. Now we can go ahead and take the covers off once more. Like I said, the only reason you place them on right now is just to square it off. Now you have the covers removed once again. What you want to do here is you want to go ahead and now tighten the bolts that are going to go towards the bed. So 1 and 2. 1 and 2. This next step, you want to go ahead and grab the baggie that says MT5 to MT7. I want to go ahead and get a total of 8 little nuts. As you can tell, they're nylon nuts. They have that in there. So you're going to need 3, 1 and 1 equals 8. So go ahead and grab 8 of those. And then inside the MT5, MT7, the prep baggie, there's going to be some brackets and bolts as well. So the bolts, it comes with 3 for one side, 3 for the other side. So grab the 6 long bolts, and then it's going to come with 2 smaller ones, 1 for one side, 1 for the other side. For this first step, grab one of these brackets, which is the bigger one. Grab 3 of these long bolts, 3 of these nuts, and we're going to move over here. So the 3 long bolts go in through the inside here, as you can tell. So inside is there. Push in, and push it in. So 3. And coming back to the back side over here, you want to grab the bracket. There's the L bracket. You want to make sure this is pointing inwards. Go ahead and line that up there. That's where you go ahead and place the nylon nuts and hand tighten for now. Same thing to the opposite side. Now that we got everything kind of lined up, for this, on the head of the bolt, it's going to be a size 10. For some reason, for the nut, it's going to be a size 11. Now that that's tightened, go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. For this next step, you want to go ahead and grab the smaller L brackets with the smaller bolt and the nut. So those ones are going to get placed right over here. So we'll show you guys. So it's going to go right there. One thing to take note, which I'll show you guys right now, we're placing it on the top hole. You can tell the bottom bracket, it has a hole there, and then it has a hole on the top. We put the bolt through the top hole. You want to leave it loose like this. The reason why is because when you go inside the bed, you got to adjust a little, so leave that loose. Same thing to the opposite side. Now for this next step, now we've put those brackets. This next step here, you're going to want to focus on the right side, passenger side of this deck system. You're going to notice there's a center line which comes down right here. You have to line it up with where Jerry's at. If you guys do remember, we had to center the bed. So he's making the mark right now. I'm just kidding. If you just go ahead and place it, it'll probably be misaligned. So what you got to do is you want to make sure that line that deck provides matches up with your center line that you have drawn and measured out. Now that we have everything clean and centered, our lines match up with the deck lines, everything is good to go. Up next, what we're going to be doing is we're not going to be prepping those brackets. We'll show you guys the direction they go, the bracket there and the bracket there that we had just put previously. They're going to go on the side of the bed. For this section here, you want to go ahead and get a 1/4-inch drill bit. As far as the hardware that we're going to need, MT5, MT7 SUB. Grab 3 of the bolts inside and 3 of the nuts. The bolts are actually going to go from the back side, so into the bed, and then the nuts are going to be on this side. That's going to go for both. For the bracket, you're going to want to kind of pick it up like this. Go ahead and get your 1/4-inch, and you're going to drill it out. Let me show you guys from the other side. Okay, so you're going to see it's coming out right through there. As far as for me, I do have a shock relocation kit, as you guys can tell, which Jerry did this. This one we had to be a little bit more careful. For you, your shock is probably going to be sitting down there, so you won't have to worry as much as us. But as you can tell, it comes very close, so you just got to be careful if you guys also have a shock relocation kit like me. You're going to want to go ahead and grab the bolt that I told you to get. It's going to be going in from the outside inwards towards the bed. So I'm going to go ahead and get it in the hole. So as you can tell, I put one in just so that way he could go ahead and put the nut on the other side right here. As you can tell, just so that way our bracket doesn't move or anything like that. And then we'll go ahead and finish up the other 2 holes and putting the rest of the bolts and nuts. We've just finished up one side. As you can tell, the 3 bolts are there. For me, once again, I have a shock relocation, so it's a little tight for us. But on this side, the bolts are going to be a size 10. And let me show you guys from the inside where the bracket is. It's going to be a size 11. There it is. So there's the 1, 2, and 3. And the nuts are on this side. That's a size 11. So right now that everything's done, we still have these loose. We're going to go ahead and now jump to this side and do the same thing. We're going to pick up the bracket, mark our marks, and put the bolts through, just like we did to the other side. All right, you guys, so looking right here, we've now bolted it down. It's secured. That side's done. You're going to notice right there, that's still loose and that's loose. Keep that in mind. We have those loose for now. So you're going to notice that's where you want to go ahead and put the ammo can, put it in its position. Up next, what you need to do is grab this rail here. On this rail here, you're going to notice there's two sides to it. So one side, it does have an opening like that. And then there is, like I said, a side to it. So you're going to have this little piece here, the metal piece. Take note of that. And then back there, you're not going to have that metal piece there. That flat piece there is going to go to the tab right there. So it's going to go all along there, as you guys can tell. So the rail is now installed. There it is. All we have left is the screws. But you want to make sure that that rail that you sat there is even with the ammo can. As you guys can tell, it's super flush. Now that the rail is in its position, it's the big baggie that has a bunch of screws. You want to go ahead and get 2 screws. You're going to have a bag of black washers and a bag of white washers. So you want to go ahead and get the white washers. You need to get 2 of those. You're going to notice the washers are there, the white washer. And looking over here in that baggie and this baggie, you're going to have a set of screws and you're going to have a set of nuts. So you want to grab 2 and 2. That way you have something like this. So you guys will see where these are going to go, but I just wanted to show you they're going to go there, and these ones there are going to go there. We're going to start off with these ones back here. So take the nut back off, put the screw through, and then go ahead and tighten it down. In the back side is the nut. And there's again, take the nut off that we just showed you guys, and then put the screw right through. And then on the other side, you'll put the nut there. And then you just want to hand tie it in for now. Here is going to go those 2 screws that I told you with the washers. So go ahead and put one down, just do it by hand, and then go ahead and put the second one down. And now that you're done with this side, you're going to do the same thing on this side as well. Before you do that though, you're going to notice right there you do have a bed outlet. So it's up to you guys. You can either remove it and put it somewhere else, or you can leave it there. It's up to you. For me, I'm going to be reinstalling it somewhere else. I'm going to go ahead and move it from there and kind of bring it up just so I can still use it whenever I go camping and stuff like that, because I do use it. So it's only going to be held on with 4 screws right there, and then you should be able to take it off. I've previously unscrewed it, so for me it's easy, but like I said, there's 4 screws going around. You can do 2 things. You can grab your ammo can and drill in there and put that in there. That way it works. At least it's kind of hidden. It's up to you guys, but like I said, as far as for me, I'm going to go ahead and reinstall it somewhere else. Go ahead and remove it. So it's pretty easy. You just unclip just like that. Back there's like a little zip tie, as you guys can tell. You get some wire cutters and just split that off. Trying to pull it like this is going to be really hard, as you guys can tell. So I'm going to go get some wire cutters and cut off that little zip tie. Try to make it as clean as possible, but at least I can use the OEM factory stuff, so it'll still look pretty clean and dust proof by using that. So you can also put it inside of this, inside the ammo can. Totally up to you guys. You can drill it out, put it there. I've seen many people do it that way. There's nothing wrong with that. We may have to modify this a little bit on the back end. We may have to cut off some of the tabs to make this work, but Jerry will do it. As you guys can tell right now, Jerry's just kind of using a circular saw on the drill, and we're just kind of drilling out enough space to go ahead and pass that wire through. This is super custom, so I haven't really seen anybody do it this way, so we'll see what happens, but there's the hole. All right, let's show you guys now. So this is going to be the finished product, as you guys can tell. And one thing to note, we did use different screws because that's all we had. So down the road, I'll switch out the screws just so it looks a little more factory, as you guys can see it. Some are silver, some are gold, but overall, I mean, I think this looks pretty awesome if you ask me. So of course, like I said, I need to cover that, but I'll do this down the road. I don't have anything to cover it today. All right, so there is the ammo can. So now it will fit, and I can still use my bed outlet. I'm excited about that, honestly, because I do use it when I go camping. Go ahead and put that other rail, and it's going to be the same steps. You put the rail, and then you put the screws there and there. So now that both rails are installed, as you guys can tell, we've also put the screws on the other side. You want to use the same screws from just like the driver's side, what we put there. And now everything should kind of be done. You should be able to just screw it down now completely. So go ahead and bolt everything down if you haven't done it yet. Right here, noticing, remember I told you to leave those loose? Now you can go ahead and bolt those down. So that side and that side. Up next, now that the rails are in place, screwed down, you're gonna go ahead and get the top half of it. We're gonna be placing them in the places that they go. So it's kind of like a puzzle. You guys will see what I mean. And the reason I say that is because they'll only go in if you put it in correctly, like a puzzle. You're also gonna need these black washers. You're gonna need the screws for the black washers. You're also gonna need the white washers as well. So it's gonna be those three things. This is kind of the setup that you're gonna want. It's gonna be screw, white washer, and black washer at the end. So you guys can tell there. Do a bunch of them because it's gonna go all the way around, all the way there, all the way there, including the other side. We've put them all down, and then we went ahead and screwed them down completely after we did them by hand. So now you can go ahead and get the cover for this, and you can go ahead and place it if you guys want to, just to take a look at it, but you're gonna have to open it up again because there's one more thing that's gonna go in there. So these are kind of weird, but they do go in their place. Now that everything's installed, I wanted to show you something really quick. So as you can tell, remember we relocated this thing a little bit higher. So now it's freaking awesome. So whenever I do want to use it, I still can. I just open it up and we're good to go. So keep in mind, if you guys do also want to use that, you're gonna have to relocate it, or like I told you guys, if you want to spend the money, go ahead and buy a new outlet, some wiring, and rewire it somewhere, or even put it inside of here. I didn't want to spend the money, so we went cheap, but it still looks clean, as you can tell. We just had do a little bit of modification towards the bottom, but no problem, still works. In this one here, we're gonna be working on the drawers. As you guys can tell, this is the handle here. Let me go to the back of the drawer to show you guys what you need to do. I'm gonna show you guys kind of how it's gonna look, and then in the next clip, we'll show you guys how to do it and which hardware to use. So you're gonna notice, you're gonna put some wheels on each side right there. There's gonna be like a black rail here. You're gonna need to grab some brackets, which is these chrome ones here, and then a couple of bolts and nuts, as you guys can see there. And then on the deck system itself, you're also going to be adding some tires there. So now as far as the hardware that you're going to be using, it comes right here. So you're going to notice it's going to say drawer 1, and there's going to be a set of 4 brackets. So you're going to need to use 2 brackets per side. So they are also side specific, so keep that in mind. We'll show you guys right now when we do the install on the next one. And then you're also going to need to grab this baggie, which comes inside of the brackets bag. This is going to be the hardware kit. It says drawer 1 hardware kit on it. You're also going to need to grab the drawer 2 baggie, which has like these black rails, and then you're going to need to grab the wheels baggie. Each bag has a set of 4, and then it also has bolts, but each bag goes per drawer. So we used 1 full bag for this side drawer. Now we're going to use this bag for the other side. So let's go ahead and now get to it and show you guys how to do it. You can tell this is the back end to it, which is actually going to go back there once we're done. So let's start on it. Start with the brackets. Like I told you guys, these are side specific. So the way you're going to want it is this nipple here to go ahead and point out inwards into here, and then the bracket has to sit basically like this. So as you can tell, it goes around the drawer. Once again, there too. And there you go. We're going to start with the 2-inch bolts that come inside the hardware baggie. The bigger ones are going to go on the top one, so one there and then one on the opposite side. So you go ahead and slide it through, and it should slide through the bracket you just installed. And then the other 2 smaller ones are going to go in. Once you get that one in there, go ahead and grab one of the nuts that in that same baggie. Tighten it down just so the bracket doesn't move. And then down here, same thing. You just saw him put the bolt right through. On the other side, he put a nut, and we're going to do the same here. We're going to put another bolt right through there, and then another nut. And there should be a total of 3 little ones. So the last one is going to be right here, but that one is just going to be a bolt, and that's going to be last. Side, we're going to do the same thing. We'll do the top one with Up next, you want to go ahead and grab, it says drawer 2 on the baggie. It's going to go right in the center right here. That's why I said to leave those last top bolts last. I'll show you guys why. Doing it on that side, but I'll show you guys on the other side right now. That one literally just, the bolt goes through and it gets attached to that rod that we just put right through. So you got all the hardware through, you got the rod right through the metal. Now you want to go ahead and tighten everything down. Now that you've tightened everything down, up next we're going to go ahead and now grab the wheels baggie, and we're going to start working on the wheels. This one's going to be pretty self-explanatory. You're going gonna have 4 wheels. Grab 2 of them for now. Start off, of course, 1 wheel and 1 of the long bolts. Put it right through just like that. And there you go. Do the same thing with the other side. 1 bolt, 1 wheel. It's gonna go right there. Up next, you wanna go ahead and grab your 7/32 torque and tighten it down. Now these bad boys are all set. Go ahead and grab it and you're gonna slide it into the system. Noticing the wheels are now at the back and you just slide it right in. Lightly grab the drawers, push them upwards because you're gonna be working on the bottom to put the other set of wheels. So now that we've hand tightened it, we're gonna go ahead and now bolt it down all the way. Now everything's installed properly, tires are there. So let's move on to the next step. So now we're gonna be doing the weather stripping that you guys can see here. One thing to note, you're gonna notice there is like a little lip on both of them here. You can see it there. So that lip actually has to be facing inside towards the drawers or towards the cab, you could say. And with that stuff, if you guys have ever installed a Princey roof rack, you guys know kind of what this is. It's the same type of weather stripping that they use. Make sure you guys put firm pressure so everything sits nice and clean. If you're not putting firm pressure, you're gonna have lumps throughout the whole thing. Same thing to the smaller drawer. So the next thing that Jerry has in his hand is gonna be the torsion brace there. There's holes all along one of the side of the, it's like kind of like an L bracket. So you see this other side doesn't have nothing, but this side does. So keep that in mind when you're placing it. So that is going to go placed right here at the bottom with the holes towards where you can see. Once you get that done right there, up next you want to go ahead and grab the baggie that comes with this like decked plate right here. This thing is freaking awesome because if you guys do have bottles when you guys are out camping or anything like that, or even in your front yard, backyard, doesn't matter where you have the truck. If you have the truck with you and the stack system, you can go ahead and open up your bottles with this bad boy right here. And this plate here is going to be sitting right there. This step, as far as the hardware, the one we're going to be using, if you guys do remember, we grabbed the S1 baggie, the ones that we used all along the top right there. We're going to kind of be using that same method. So you're going to grab the bolts from the S1 baggie, which are these here, and then you're also going to grab the washers baggie, which had like the black washers and the nylon white washers here. You're doing the same setup that you did up top, which is going to be bolt, white washer, and black washer, and you want to go ahead and set that up because that's what you're going to be using. He started working on it, so it's going to be one there, one's going to go there, there, and there. So start off with the edges first, grab those same bolts, washers, and it's going to go on the bottom there. So once you finish the bottom ones, as you guys can tell, there should be 4 of them. You're gonna notice we still need some for the top. So the top ones there, while we said don't tighten everything down yet, you wanna grab the baggie that says final mid on it. So from that baggie inside, there's gonna be 2 bolts, and those 2 bolts, all you wanna do is grab the 1/2-inch screws, which are these here. So you're gonna do the same method, grab the 2, and then you're gonna grab a white washer and a black washer. These 2 are gonna be placed right here. You got everything kind of hand tied in, now you can go ahead and bolt it down completely. So for this next section here, what you're going to want to do is open up the ammo can setup really quick, both sides. Grab the J hooks, which one of the baggies is right here. It literally looks like a J, and then it has like that plastic piece there, and then another J, and that plastic piece there. Once you grab that J hook baggie, go ahead and grab the bolt that's in there, and you're going to pop it right in through there. Noticing right here there's a hole, you're going to put it through there. Once it's through there, you want to actually hook it into the bracket that's right here, which is the one that you guys bolted on the side of the bed, if you remember at the beginning. And on this side, you're going to notice it has like a handle to that plastic piece, and then inside there's a nut. So that's what you're going to use to bolt down that bolt, just like that. There's the hook that I was telling you. That's the hook that you guys had previously installed that we had to drill out some holes. It's hooking into that one. So there it is. You're going to notice in that same baggie of the J-hook baggies, you're going to have those rubber pieces. Grab one of them and you're going to put it right here. And then do the same thing to the opposite side. Now that you've done both sides, go ahead and put this back, and you're basically done with that. Now we're going to be doing the final step, which is putting the awesome ruler that it comes provided with. So in this step here, inside the bag that says final mid, which is here, there's going to be some plastic pieces. There's going to be a couple screws. So the screws here are going to be really tiny. You're going to notice that, and that's what you're going to want to go ahead and grab for this next step. Place it on the edge. and you want to line up the holes. As you can tell, there's riv nuts right there. Put those small bolts that I told you, or small screws. So now that we've hand tightened all these little screws, you want to go ahead and get a 1/8 Allen key and go ahead and tighten all of them down. The last thing to do inside the final mid baggie, you're going to have 2 of these caps here, and what that's going to be is for the drawers. So as you can tell, pop that in, is also going to go there, and pop that in. As you can tell, this would be kind of the setup. As far as for me, what I'm going to be doing is on this smaller side, I'm planning on building it out as far as for my tools. So I'm probably going to make something or have someone build me like something internally so I can set up all the tools and everything nice and clean. So when I go camping or just off-road or anything like that, I can have access to that. And then on the other side, which is a little bigger, I'm planning on just putting all my camping essentials, kind of like my grill or just anything that's needed as far as camping. Maybe a sleeping bag, who knows, maybe my air compressor, stuff like that. So this is super cool to have because of course inside the Tacomas, the cab is really tiny, and it's just always best to have more space. As you guys do remember, I usually do have a printer rack on top, so with my roam boxes and this all together, it's going to be a lot of space that I can save without putting inside. Another cool thing about this, of course, like I told you guys, you have the outside pockets that you can put stuff inside, and then another thing, you can also use it as tie down, so you still got your tie down points that came factory with the truck there. And then of course another cool thing is the deck system actually allows you to still use your bed stiffeners. Just like me, I have the ones from Little BS there, so they're still allowed to be put on here. I was worried at first that they weren't going to allow it to fit together, but I'm super happy that Deck thought this out, because the bed stiffeners, as you guys do know, are very crucial with going off-road, especially having a bed rack like I usually have on with my tent, stuff like that. Heck yeah. So that leaves it there. If you guys do need installations on this, make sure to hit up Jerry, which he's right here. All his information is always in the description box below. So if you guys are interested in this specific installation or any type of fabrication, installs, anything like that, you already know, hit him up. His prices are great. Make sure to let him know I sent you over, so that way you get hooked up.
I guess that was it. As Jesse said, you know, all my information is gonna be down in the box below. So if you guys like all this video and everything we did, please just like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys the next time, okay?